want to talk to you about a subject, and I'm a little tentative because the subject is very delicate. And I know that I have some roles as a disruptor, but sometimes I would just like to be a soother. But never mind. So, what's the disruption? The disruption is I would like us to think about and reconsider the socially appropriate phrase, I'm sorry for your loss. When Melissa died, of course, numbers of people said that, and it didn't upset me, didn't irritate me, nothing. I was not focused on anybody's words, but I did notice who wanted to really connect, who was willing to get into the muck with us, who was willing to hurt with us, who was willing to share our pain or at least reflect on it or somehow do something more than say what was correct. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with saying it, and no one has anything untoward in their intention. Everybody means to do the right thing, say the right thing. And by the way, I have found when I've had this discussion with people about what works better with people in bereavement, people are so open, hungry for the things to say that work better than how are you? Can you imagine you've had all the stages of grief going on and someone says, how are you? Which day are you talking about? Which minute are you talking about? I don't know how to answer you. The person meant well. But saying something like, how's it going right now for you? They can answer that. And it's a good way to start a conversation. I'm not saying that's the new thing to say, not at all. But let me just tell you, when I was raised, and probably when you were raised, we were taught that if someone died, you got a what do they call it? Not a bereavement card, a sympathy card, and you sent it. Well, we don't, that's not so much something we do today. So you go on Facebook or you send an email, or if you're in a WhatsApp group, you might see on and on and on. Sorry for your loss. This is for a dog, a cat, a person. I just looked at a post in Melanie Ann Layer's group. She has thousands of people. A woman posted that really upset me because her husband died in January and she's on Facebook. And I want to say, can I, like, how can I reach you? She was in appreciation for Melanie's classes and how they got her through the passing of her husband. But these talented, incredible women that are amongst the thousands were saying, sorry for your loss, one after the other after the other. We can do better than that. And I know that we would like to. Recently, a friend said to me, my mother has dementia. And I said, oh, tell me about it. And if I'd said, I'm sorry, maybe she would have told me what she told me. But I'm sorry can kind of end the discussion. If, and I'm going to get back to the woman with whose mother has dementia, but I want to finish this sentence. It can close off the sentence if the person was relieved about the death. I have a girlfriend whose husband was extremely difficult. Her life was a nightmare. When all the people, so many hundreds, because he had an outward persona of wonderful. So many people, sorry for your loss. She's not going to talk to those people. She's not going to tell them, don't be sorry. This is the beginning of my new life. I'm not saying you should assume that people are relieved, but we don't know what people's experience is. So if we really want to connect, can we pause? Can we see what's aligned for us to say about death? Is there something we might say that we know is genuine and authentic? Even if you didn't know the person, you could say, it seemed like he had a great sense of humor. Is that true? Or anything? It doesn't have to be brilliant. Getting back to my friend who was telling me that her mother had dementia. When I said, "Oh," to show, and I'm not suggesting you copy me, but it was my surprise and my startle that was revealed with "Oh." And then I said, "Tell me about it." And she said, "The tender, gorgeous moments that have brought the rest of the family together have been worth their weight in gold. And they're getting through this together, and they're discovering this new woman who is her mother because there's a significant personality change." And then she could tell me the funny stories, and we could laugh together and cry together because her mother, that was so compassionate, is no more. This woman does not remember that part of her daughter. She doesn't really remember her daughter. And that is very painful. So that was what the tears were about. And you can say, well, you're a therapist. You know how to talk to people. No, I said that too. It's easy. We were told it's the right thing. It's not wrong, but it doesn't do for the person what we hope it would do. We're trying to say the right thing. We're scared about death. We don't know how we're going to deal with the death of our loved ones. So we're nervous. We don't know what to say. But I trust you. I know that if you take a moment, instead of saying, "I'm sorry," and tap into your heart, you're going to say something way better, better for the person. And it won't seem like you're checking it off your list. Like when people buy a bereavement card, send it off. Yes, it's nice to get those things. In a way, it's better than the people who couldn't talk to us at all and never mentioned Melissa's death, even though we know they knew about it. I understand they were frightened, they were anxious, they didn't know what to say. I'm embarrassed that I know who those people are because I shouldn't be keeping a list, but judge me if you like. I do remember who those people were. One childhood friend of Melissa's wrote about how amazingly honorable Melissa was in the fifth grade. The trouble is, she wasn't a good friend to Melissa. She hurt Melissa's feelings. So her beautiful letter uh, toward Melissa was not quite a fit. So think of your relationship with the person or the person who died or the person who's having a hard time. And before you say, I'm sorry, would you join my experiment and try out some other words, anything else? Tell me about your person. What's it like? There's so much to do, I understand. What are you doing today? Anything to tap into the reality of the person's life if you are willing. And I guess you have to check with yourself first. Are you willing? But I know that if you do connect with the person, you're not wanting to just close the door. I'm hoping that there aren't very many people who just want to get out of the room. Um, and make sure what you say is a fit with your heart and the situation. The other day, I was telling someone about how it took years to get my blood sugar normal again because I was trying too hard and too critical, and I went, too crazy. And then I would rebel and blow it all. And she said, I'm sorry. And I was like, You're sorry? I'm not sorry. So I don't know if I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Please let me know if you think I am. But I just really, really want to tell you how strongly I feel about this experiment and invite you to join me. Bye for now.